I saved Easton in my contacts as small. And he found out. I cried while trying to change it, but he wouldn't let me. Keep it, he said. From now on, every time you say it, you'll remember how misleading the name is. Before we go any further, subscribe to this channel and tell us in the comments where you're listening from. I saved Easton as small. An ideogram that tells the literal truth, emphasis on not. Whenever those two letters pop up, I picture him delicate and breakable, and I gloat all by myself. It's one of the few victories I still own in this marriage, but that win is slipping away. The "you there?" I sent half an hour ago is still floating in the chat, unanswered. Flames shot up my spine. Why aren't you answering me? I'm mad, plus a furious emoji with steam coming out of its ears. This time Easton replied instantly. Small, if you love getting angry so much, you should have married a fire extinguisher. I stared at the line until my fingers cramped around the phone. 100 vicious comebacks flashed through my mind, but none felt vicious enough. I hit FaceTime. He killed the call after one ring. Small, in a meeting. Can't talk. I sneered. Another meeting? Was he going to recycle that excuse until his company went bankrupt? Mr. Sterling, too busy for international Manda to spare wife a single second, huh? 2 new bubbles appeared. Small, location share request. Small, photo. I tapped the photo. A corner of his conference room, floor-to-ceiling windows, a couple of suits in the lower left. The pin dropped right at headquarters. Oh. I cleared my throat and switched to voice. Next time, could you at least send a one? So I know you're alive and just ignoring me. I tossed the phone aside, thinking that was the end of it. Who knew? An hour later, Easton walked in. I was curled on the sofa demolishing a bucket of fried chicken. He toed off his shoes, scanned the disaster on the coffee table. International Manda wrap-up complete, wife. A drumstick still between my teeth, I mumbled, oh, finally remembered to come home and collect my corpse. He didn't take the bait. Went to the kitchen for water, then sat in the single chair across from me. For a moment the only sound was the melodramatic sobbing on the TV. His stare raised goosebumps along my arms. What are you looking at? Do I have a chicken bone stuck to my face? Easton didn't answer. He leaned in, cedar cologne drowned the grease of takeout and jammed my lungs. I shrank back until the cushions formed a barricade. Back off, trying to steal my wing? He reached out, thumb brushing the corner of my mouth. My entire body locked up. No bone, he murmured, voice low and amused. Just sauce. He lifted his hand, a shiny smear of glaze coated the pad of his thumb. All my bluster evaporated on the spot. What the hell? Are we even allowed to be this intimate? He studied my crimson face with lazy satisfaction. Cat, got your tongue? All that fire really need a fire extinguisher? Each word edged him closer. I was trapped in the corner of the sectional, blood roaring in my ears. I shot both hands out and shoved his chest. Easton, get off me. He didn't budge. Instead, he closed long fingers around my wrist, gentle, inescapable. His gaze slid to the phone I'd hurled onto the cushion. The screen still glowed. My heart stopped. Was he really going to? Reading someone's phone is a capital crime. Maybe my guilt showed, because his eyes narrowed, speculative. We stared each other down while I inched my free hand toward the device. We moved at the same time. Easton was faster. All limb, all lethal. He snatched it before I could. He wiggled the darkened screen at me. Huh, so what? I'd locked it. Go ahead, look. I thrust my chin out, confident. He gazed down, not angry, curious, thrilled. Secrets, wife? He drawled it, twirling my phone in one hand while the other cuffed my wrist. I glared. Snoops go to the doghouse. Oh? A soft laugh. Still the same panicked kid from college, I see. What are you hiding this time? Another side account. Then, right in front of me, he aimed the screen at my face. Reflex took over. I whipped my head away and squeezed my eyes shut. Try unlocking it now, genius. Door welded, window soldered. Silence swallowed the living room. A moment later warm breath grazed my ear. In a voice like velvet briars he whispered, wife, remember that alt account you had sophomore year? How could he possibly? His chuckle curled against my skin. Profile pic was. Shut up. I exploded. No air, no plan, no more standoff. Eyes flying open, I slapped my palm over his mouth. And in that same second the phone in his raised hand gave its little open sesame click. Too late. Easton released me, thumb already scrolling. He tapped WhatsApp. At the very top of the chat list blinked one stark label. Small. Oh. Secrets out. How absolutely fabulous. I sagged against the backrest, defeated. Fine. Cards on the table. On TV, the couple had stopped crying and started kissing. I glanced at Easton. He was watching me. He waggled my phone. Case closed, evidence secured. I peeled the device from his fingers and locked it again. Problem, Mr. Sterling? Don't like your pet name? He dipped until our forearms brushed, teeth almost clenched. Small? Sounds like I haven't been trying hard enough. Trying hard at what? His exhale skated across my neck and detonated a shiver. Cameron! Every alarm in my skull screamed. I flailed, trying to crawl out from under him. What do you think you're doing? He clamped a hand around my nape. Held flush to his chest, I couldn't move. Just demonstrating how inaccurate that label is. The words hadn't settled before his mouth crashed onto mine. His thumb stroked the hollow beneath my hair, so brief I thought I'd imagined it. He pried my lips apart and swallowed every protest. The television might as well have been on mute. My universe shrank to the taste of him and the ruthless way he claimed it. Light from the ceiling fixture speared through the gap above his shoulder, stinging my watering eyes. When he finally drew back, I was limp, draped over him like a blanket, lips swollen and numb. His own breathing ragged, he rested his forehead against mine, triumph blazing in his gaze. So, voice gravel, he traced my mouth with a lazy thumb. Still think I'm small? Brain empty, lungs burning, I couldn't answer. He didn't give me time to recover. Phone lifted, screen glow painting silver across his irises. Change it yourself, or want me to? Something inside me snapped like an overtuned violin string. I grabbed his tie and yanked. Caught off balance, he toppled forward. I tipped my chin, finger landing on his lower lip. Change what? Breaths tangling, I finished, sounds used to me. The smugness in Easton's eyes slowly faded. Second after second slipped by. Just when I thought I'd successfully annoyed him to death, Easton suddenly smiled. A more Cameron, more predatory smile. Instead of getting up, he leaned even lower. Wife. His voice was huskier than before, every syllable scraped out from deep in his throat. Are you inviting me? He trapped my hand, still resting against his lips, inside his. Then he lifted my fingertips to his mouth and brushed a kiss across them. The contact burned. Or reminding me that we still have unfinished business from our wedding night? Before I could react, Easton pulled back. The next second, the world flipped. EJ, I squeaked, instinctively throwing my arms around his neck. The ridiculous childhood nickname slipped out unchecked. Easton's steps froze. The arms holding me tightened in a flash. I'm doomed. Looks like I overplayed it. I held my breath, cautiously studying his face. His Adam's apple moved in slow motion. I shrank into myself and tried to repair the damage. I meant EJ, you know, like, little boat. He ignored my pathetic excuse, lowered me onto the couch with deliberate care. That gentleness terrified me more than any of his earlier force. Easton stayed down on one knee, keeping me caged in his shadow. Not a trace of teasing remained in his eyes. What did you just call me? Every instinct screamed run, but the pressure in the air nailed me in place. I bluffed. Audio hallucination? Jordan. Easton almost never uses my full name. One hand braced on the sofa, he cupped my chin with the other. His fingers were ice cold. No one said it in years. He inched closer. That nickname is your exclusive right, but rights aren't free. His gaze turned into a net, locking me in. From now on, every time you say it. His eyes dropped, his voice dropped, lethal and coaxing. I'll make you forget how to spell small. In the darkness, Easton pinned me against him. Tears soaked the hollow of his shoulder as I shattered. I sobbed, begging, I'll change it. I'll change the contact name. EJ, please. He paused to wipe my cheeks, laughing softly at my tears. The vibration of that laugh rattled through his chest and straight into my heart. Don't cry. He kissed my earlobe. Now every time you see it, you'll remember how laughably wrong that nickname is. When I woke the next morning, I felt completely reassembled. Flashbacks from last night flooded in. Easton's scorching skin, his muffled groans, me crying his pet name. Mortifying. I hid under the covers until hunger finally drove me out. I pulled on a turtleneck loungewear set and shuffled downstairs. The smell of food pulled me faster. In the kitchen, Easton wore a plain white t-shirt. He glanced back, gaze snagging for a second on my collar. That teasing look spiked my temperature again. I tugged the neck higher and sat opposite him. He slid a plate toward me, then a glass of warm milk. When I reached for the milk, my sleeve slipped down. Across the table, Easton stilled. He set his cup down, circled the island, and stopped beside me. What are you doing? I blinked, confused. He caught my wrist, no pressure, just a loose hold. Eyes lowered, he studied the exposed skin. I followed his gaze, a faint red mark circled my wrist. Before I could speak, he strode to the living room and returned with the first aid kit. Easton cradled my hand. I tried to tug free, but he kept my palm steady. "It's nothing, just a little red," I muttered. He acted as if he hadn't heard, unscrewed the ointment, and dabbed it on in slow circles. The tenderness bloomed inside me. I was still dazed when my phone rang. It was Mom. I glanced at Easton. He released me and nodded for me to answer. "Mom? Yo-yo, are you and Azo free tonight? Come home for dinner. Dad's simmering the fish soup you love." Family dinner? Before, to keep up our happy couple act, I'd always shown up alone. My excuse, Easton's busy. Now, I shot him a silent plea, "Mom, dinner." He lifted a brow, made no move to rescue me, and held out his hand instead. Puzzled, I gave him the phone. In a warm, respectful tone I rarely heard, he said, "We'll definitely be there, Mom. Jordan's been craving Dad's soup, too." He ended the call and returned the phone. "Since when am I craving anything?" I muttered. He pinched my cheek. "Mom noticed you came alone last time. Today I'll smooth things over." The ride to my parents felt charged. I kept sneaking glances at the driver. Easton had picked a low-profile Bentley. Sensing my stare, he said, "3 rules. Huh? 1. No full name today." "Then what?" His fingers drummed the wheel. He shot me a sideways grin. "Husband, or EJ?" I rolled my eyes with a fake smile. "Call you husband. Do I get overtime pay?" "Sure, we'll settle up tonight, per use." Only Easton could spin any topic into innuendo. Apparently satisfied, he continued. 2. We stay within 1 meter of each other, no separate seats. "Why on earth?" "To help you remember." He paused, biting back a smirk. How misleading the word small is. His thumb brushed the gear shift, his gaze flicked to me. I shut up. He parked at my parents' estate. 3. Let me answer whatever your parents ask. Unbuckling, he turned. "Got it, Mrs. Sterling?" I surprised myself by nodding. He smiled, leaned in. I closed my eyes, expecting a kiss. Instead, he released my seatbelt, let his knuckles graze my collarbone, and murmured by my ear, "Let's go, don't blow our cover." Mom yanked the door open before the bell finished chiming, apron tied around her waist. "Oh, come in, come in." Easton's composure was flawless. A slight bow, presents extended, voice warm and polite. "Mom, work's been crazy. I haven't accompanied Jordan to see you and Dad, my fault." His speech patched every "he's busy" hole I'd ever dug, and painted him as the perfect repentant son-in-law. Dad emerged from the living room, usually stern face softening at the sight of Easton. "Good to see you, sit, sit." At the table the atmosphere was miraculously harmonious. Easton handled it like a pro, discussing markets with Dad, praising Mom's soup, never missing a beat. Mom piled food into my bowl. "Yo-yo, serve Azo some of what he likes." My chopsticks hovered over the ribs. What does he even like? All we ever did at meals was snipe or fling metaphorical mud. I looked to Easton for help. He simply watched me, eyes clearly saying, "Your move." I steeled myself and dropped the spare rib straight into his bowl. His brows lifted a fraction, then he ate it as if it were the most natural thing in the world. Mom saw everything, her smile widening. "I told you, newlyweds are always lovebirds." I buried my face in my rice, mortified. Under the table, Easton's knee brushed mine, light, deliberate. I looked up just as he peeled a shrimp. A moment later the perfect, plump meat landed on my plate. "Eat." His tone was pure indulgence. "Aren't these your favorite?" Mom chimed in happily. She's loved shrimp since she was tiny, too lazy to peel them, though. I stared at the glistening shrimp, then at the flawless smile on Easton's face. For a second I felt dizzy. How could he possibly know I love shrimp but hate peeling them? After dinner, Mom dragged Easton to the living room couch for talk show chatter. Dad retreated to his study. I escaped to the kitchen under the excuse of washing fruit. I had just exhaled in relief when Easton followed me in. He shut the door, caging me between the sink and his chest. "Nice performance, Mrs. Sterling." He looked down, eyes blazing. "You've got potential." His familiar scent wrapped around me. "Right back at you, Mr. Sterling, Oscar-worthy." "Oh?" A soft laugh. "Then doesn't the leading man deserve a reward?" He leaned closer. "Count the lies I smoothed over for you today. I had no comeback." "So?" His fingers grazed my cheek. "Tonight, Jordy." Mom's voice rang from the hallway. I shoved Easton away in a panic. He stepped back at once, gentle smile restored. The door cracked open and Mom peeked in. It's so late, driving's risky, stay the night. The refusal died on my tongue when she added, your room's exactly the same. I just put fresh sheets on the bed, nice and clean. You two can sleep here. I shot Easton a look. He nodded at Mom. Sounds perfect. Then he turned, flashing me a smile heavy with promise. Thanks, Mom. She closed the door, sealing off the outside world, and my escape route. I spun around. What did you just agree to? Easton unfastened a cuff, rolling his sleeve. Would you rather I told her our marriage is a contract? That we're emotionally bankrupt and need separate bedrooms? The words our mom were laced with deliberate emphasis. I stood there, speechless, glaring at the pink walls and stuffed animals of my childhood room. Everything was frozen in teenage amber, only now the space felt cramped and Cameron with Easton in it. My gaze landed on a framed photo on the desk, a summer camp group shot from elementary school. Mini-me, pigtails bristling, scowled at the boy beside her. The same boy wore an infuriating grin, waving my rightful prize in the air. That boy was Easton. See? You've been a pest since day one. He strolled over, lifting the frame, thumb brushing his tiny image. The smirk widened. I only recall someone losing a game, sobbing she'd never speak to me again. He tilted his head. Yet the next morning, who was on my porch clutching breakfast? You swiped my Game Boy, Mom sent me to reclaim it. Old humiliation flared. Really? He set the frame down, advancing. Because I remember you saying, Easton, take this and promise not to pick on me anymore. How is his memory this vicious? I retreated until the bed hit my calves and I tumbled backward. He followed, palms bracing on either side of me. That familiar weight, that unfair testosterone. I darted a look, waited half a heartbeat, then flipped us while he was off balance. I pinned his wrists above his head. Surprise flickered across his face. Offering yourself now? I knelt over him, borrowing his lazy drawl. So the great CEO remembers everything, huh? Then who was the kid at camp who feared the dark and clutched my hand all night? His eyes darkened, he hadn't expected counterattack. Anne, I tapped his lips to silence him. I let you have the Game Boy, because your puppy eyes were pathetic. Easton's gaze turned liquid night. My finger still rested on his mouth, he trapped it, palm hot. Pathetic, you claim? In one fluid move he flipped us again, an arm banded across my waist. You adored that pathetic, remember? His hand roamed, slow and maddening. Only when I pretended terror could you hijack my bunk. Humiliation spiked. I lunged to pinch his cheek. Dylan. How do you even know that? He shook his head, freeing my hand. Dylan? Then why does your secret feed overflow with EJ? He angled his head, kissed the heart of my palm still hovering, wearing a smug little grin. My pulse jackhammered. All I could hear was his breathing, and the cicadas outside the window. Gradually his breath slowed, exhaustion pulled him under, arms locked around me, my cheek on his chest. After the night's chaos and excavated memories, I should have been drained. Instead my mind buzzed wide awake. How many EJ posts were there? I couldn't recall, too many to count. I wormed free just far enough to grope for my phone on the nightstand, thumb hovering over the familiar icon. Exactly how much did Easton know? Should I obliterate the account once and for all? When awareness caught up, my finger was already on delete account. I hesitated so long the screen dimmed. The feed held too much, moments and feelings I'd never voiced aloud. Delete it and nothing would remain. I exhaled, surrendered, and toggled the account to only me. Everything vanished from every eye but mine. The world felt newly silent. I slid the phone back and nestled into Easton's arms. Reflexively, he tightened his hold. On the drive home, I was scrolling through the now private posts. What are you reading? I jolted, the screen went black. He kept his eyes on the road. Nothing. I laid the phone face down on my thigh and watched the city blur past. A piano piece drifted from the speakers. 2 intersections later, at a red light, his hand cupped the nape of my neck, thumb brushing that hypersensitive skin. Made it private? My fingers twitched, I steadied them. Don't panic, nothing incriminating here. I brushed his hand away. Certain people can't be trusted not to snoop. He rubbed his jaw. Afraid I'll peek again? Something in there I'm not allowed to see? I flashed a fake smile. Haven't you seen enough? Why so obsessed with my teenage diary? He studied me a couple beats, then laughed softly. Wife. He ruffled my hair. You know you bluff louder when you're nervous. I swatted his hand. Nervous? Me? The light flipped green. He let it go, eyes back on the road, and eased the Bentley into traffic. At the estate, he idled long enough to lean over before I slammed the door. Wife. I barked. What now? Stray hair fell across his forehead. Password's your birthday, right? Mine, or yours? I narrowed my eyes at the man haloed by morning sun. How does he keep knowing things? I said nothing, just slammed the door. He didn't press, only left me in a shimmer of exhaust. I mashed the remote on the couch, flipping past one mind-numbing show after another. The screen flickered, channel after channel of nothing. Then it froze on a finance talk show. A familiar figure sat center frame. Easton. He lounged in the guest chair, perfectly at ease. Under the spotlights, his lips curved in a smile that looked gentle but kept the world at arm's length. The host's questions were sharp, professional. Industry trends, capital chess games. He fielded every one, precise, logical, unhurried. Occasional soundbites sent murmurs rippling through the studio audience. I hugged a throw pillow and sat cross-legged, unable to look away. The segment was almost over when the host lobbed a soft one. Mr. Sterling, rumor has it you and your wife are childhood sweethearts? Care to share the story? On screen, Easton hesitated for half a beat. He shifted, gaze finding the camera lens, like it could drill through the glass and find me. She was. The sound system carried his lazy drawl, a pint-sized menace from day one. I scowled at the TV. Take that back. But, he added, adorable all the same. The host leaned in, hooked. Give us the details? Easton shook his head. Better not. If she hears, she might lock me out tonight. Polite laughter floated through the studio. The credits rolled over upbeat music. I kept staring, something restless squirming in my chest. My phone buzzed right then. The name flashing was the same man who'd just bantered on national television. What? I was still glaring at the program that had already cut to commercial. See the interview? Yeah. You came off pretty fake, Mr. CEO. A low chuckle drifted through the speaker. Fake? He rolled the word around, not denying it. So how do I look in your eyes? The question caught me off guard. My mind flicked through 1,000 snapshots. Him icing an exec with that arctic stare, lifting an eyebrow just to tease me, frowning softly while he dabbed ointment on my scraped knee. Just, whatever. I muttered my way out of it. He let the dodge slide. A few beats of quiet, then a shift. By the way, you still have a certain photo in your alt account? What photo? I'd posted plenty. I had no clue which he meant. Me at 13, giving that assembly speech in the Riverdale gym. My fingers froze on the pillow tassel. That photo. Of course I knew it. Grainy, crooked, clearly snuck from the audience. Yet the boy on stage stood arrow straight, haloed by light, wearing the same boring uniform as everyone else and somehow outshining them all. I'd saved it to small with a caption, a cringy, middle school swoon I hadn't dared reread since. How did you? My throat felt dry. How do I know? He finished for me. Told you, I've seen everything, not a couple posts. All of them. The last two words landed featherlight and sledgehammer heavy. His even breathing filled the line. The caption under that picture, the melodramatic wall of text I wished I could bury, flashed across my mind. I'm not okay. The boy glowing up there, soaking up every clap and cheer. An irritable lump of injustice balloons in my chest. Why? Why does he have to be coveted by everybody? The same swirl of pride, sourness, possession, and dread rose again. Proud that he shone, scared the shine would carry him beyond my reach. Back then I'd still childishly scrawled him under the label mine. On the other end Easton waited in silence. I clutched the phone, heartbeat thundering in my ears. He knew. He'd always known. The blurry snapshot, the overwrought caption, every soft, secret crumb of teenage longing I thought I'd buried so deep. When the call ended I couldn't even say. Only remembered Easton murmuring that someone was at his door, me whispering bye and tapping off. I sat in the sudden hush of the living room, desperate to outrun the air that smelled faintly of his cologne. I drove nowhere in particular until asphalt gave way to sapphire water. The sea, Driftwood Bar's patio was deserted except for a couple of tourists strolling the far sand. I claimed the table closest to the surf and ordered an ice-cold pitcher. The beer's bitter wash couldn't drown the restless heat under my ribs. My screen lit, a message from Easton. Small, where? I stared at the two-word ping and said nothing. Another bubble popped up. Small, come home for dinner. I flipped the phone face down on the tabletop. Wind whipped stronger, rattling the umbrella overhead. The last orange streak was swallowed by indigo. Night took over. Only scattered street lamps painted dim pools on the sand. Pitcher empty, head fuzzy, memory surfaced uninvited. I'd mentioned this exact stretch of coast more than once on Small. No, I'd mooned about watching sunset here with him. Can't quote the post, but the gist rang clear. Wish I could watch the sunset here with him one day. They say the dusk is unreal. Would he even like it? Probably not, he's too busy. But if we came, just the two of us. So the wish had lived in me that long. And him? Had he scrolled past and laughed? Or felt anything? I didn't know. I wasn't sure I wanted to. The server replaced my empty pitcher with a fresh one. I lifted the refilled glass. A hand slid in from the side and sealed the rim. I froze. The scent I knew better than my own mixed with salt wind. No need to turn, I already knew. Easton rounded the table, pulled out the opposite chair and sat. He glanced at the black horizon, tone unreadable. Looks like we missed it. Sunset's over. My lips parted, no sound came. Yes, too late. The sunset had finished without us. Heat pricked my eyes. I dropped my gaze, hiding behind the mug. The beer suddenly tasted like nothing. I muttered, voice thick, sunsets are overrated anyway. He ignored the bravado. Standing, he moved to my side and pried the glass from my fingers. No more. Quiet, final. Quit telling me what to do. I lunged to take it back. He lifted it out of reach. His fingers circled my wrist, gentle, unbreakable. Let's go home. I'm not going. I tugged. He didn't budge, only drew me to my feet. Wind tangled my hair across my face. I glared through the strands. Jordan. He sighed, thumb brushing the corner of my damp eye. The sunset's gone, but there's tomorrow. Leaning in, voice pitched low enough to pound against my chaotic pulse, he asked, the girl who once typed, "Why does my guy have to be wanted by everyone?" Is she brave enough to say it to my face now? The Driftwood bar was playing Only You in My Heart. Only you in my heart, because only after loving do I know how deep feelings can run. I looked at Easton. He was looking at me too. Yeah, I wrote it. I wrote it. I repeated, so candid I even surprised myself. My gaze slid past his shoulder to the black sea in the distance. You're too dazzling, Easton. You stand there, born to be seen by everyone, liked by everyone. I pulled my eyes back to his face, forced a stiff curve onto my lips. Me included. I'm one of them, no exception. The sea breeze picked up again, lifting my hair and the hem of my shirt. Easton stayed silent. He just watched me, with a focus so intense it felt like an inspection, as if he wanted to carve every tiny expression I made right then into his eyes. Why aren't you saying it? I tilted my head. Saying what? That I'm just like all the others, no different? That I'm actually scared to get close to you, yet I can't bear to stay too far away? I shrugged, feigning lightness, but my fingertips unconsciously scratched at the cold glass. Nothing worth saying. Some things are boring once spoken aloud. He was quiet for a long time, so long I thought the topic would just die right there. So long the distant waves and the nearby music sharpened again in my ears. How could you, Easton spoke, low and clear, ever be the same as them? I blinked. He stepped forward, close enough that I could smell the crisp scent on him, mingling with the sea wind to wrap around me. He didn't touch me, he simply held my eyes. Jordan. He said my name. We have 20 years. And there'll be another 20, and another after that. The sea breeze seemed to hold its breath, waiting for his next words. You, in my world, he paused, gaze blazing, leaving no room for doubt, have always been the one and only. What they see, he angled his head toward the glittering city lights in the distance, where people admire his business triumphs or his polished charm, is just one corner of me. But what you see, he lifted a hand suddenly, not to hold mine, but to cradle my cheek. The warmth of his fingers was a sharp contrast to my wind-cooled skin. He made sure my eyes stayed locked on his. Is all of me. Waves struck the rocks along the shore, sending out a long, steady echo. Only You in My Heart had ended without my noticing. A gentler track replaced it, but in my ears there was only his last sentence, and the breath that carried it, salty from the sea, still so close. All of me. Easton didn't rush me, he simply waited. The hand cupping my cheek brushed my skin with his thumb, soothing. Today's sunset is over, but that's okay, there's tomorrow, and the day after, and the one after that. His hand tightened around mine. I stared at our joined fingers, then lifted my gaze to his eyes. You don't need to look up to anyone, especially not me. You were never my audience, we're on the same stage, side by side. Amid the hush of the waves I could hear my heart drumming. I stood in the doorway. Easton wheeled a small suitcase toward the car. He pulled the door open, then glanced back and crooked a finger at me. What? I stayed on the top step, pretending annoyance. He walked back, stopped one step below, and looked up at me. From this angle, I actually looked down on him for once. "I'm off," he said. "Yeah. Have a safe trip." My reply was bone dry. He studied me a second, then slipped a hand behind my neck, pulled me down, and pressed a quick kiss to my lips. "Wait for me." The words brushed my mouth before he let go, climbed in, and drove away. That night the house felt cavernous. I curled on the sofa clutching a throw pillow. Some variety show flickered on the TV, but none of the words registered. My phone stayed silent. Easton was probably busy. I tapped his iMessage avatar. The contact name was still set to small. Heh, time to be a little pest. I opened the chat. "You didn't even text me once today. At this rate, I must have fallen out of favor." "Okay, I get it, love isn't that easy." Attached a pitiful faced sticker. Sent, then Quinn. I stared at the screen for 10 motionless minutes. That tiny pang of theatrical grievance swelled. I killed the TV, tossed the phone onto the sofa, and went to the kitchen for water. Glass in hand, I saw the screen light up. "Small, you sure can talk." "Small, someone should give you an award." Leaning on the sofa back, I typed, "The Wronged Woman Award, whimper." "Small, Nobel keeps missing you." I was on my way back with the water when a FaceTime call popped up from him. "No tears, right?" I rolled my eyes. "Easton, are you 5?" He grinned into the camera. "I'm in a meeting. When this trip's over, I'll come keep you company." I propped the phone on the coffee table and waved lazily. Yeah. He ignored my indifference. "Hold the phone closer." I kept my eyes on the variety show. "What for?" Still, my hand obeyed, lifting the device to my face. On screen was his close-up. He went quiet for 2 beats. "I miss you." The corners of my mouth betrayed me and curled up. "Tough luck, Mr. Sterling still has days left on his trip. Keep missing me." He started to say more when the glass door behind him slid open a crack. I heard someone calling him. I waved. "Go work." "Bye." On the third morning I was half asleep when my phone buzzed. I fumbled for it, eyes slits, and saw Easton's text. Just 2 words. "Open the door." I froze a second, then shot out of bed. No time for slippers. Bare feet slapped the floor as I sprinted to the entrance. I yanked the door open. Easton stood right outside. Travel-worn, fatigue etched on his face. We stared at each other across the threshold. He spoke first. "Did I wake you?" I dragged his suitcase inside, giving him only my back. "Obviously. If you're coming home, just come in." "Must you ruin my dream?" He caught up in 2 strides and hauled me into his arms, chin resting on my head. "Then don't sleep, take tomorrow off." His arms were iron. I wriggled once, then gave up. I twisted in his embrace. "Mr. Sterling really is something. Long flight and you're still this chipper." He placed a finger to my forehead. "Wife, people don't get tired when they're up to no good." Before I could retort, he scooped me up. Instinctively I clutched his shoulders. "EJ, right here. Go take a damn shower." Thanks for listening to today's story. If you liked it, please like and share. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more. See you next time.